what's up? Marty Schwartz here, GuitarJams.com. I want to talk about my brand new guitar amp here. It is a Divided by 13 CJ11. So Divided by 13 is this amazing amp company. All the amps are made by hand by individuals in their shop. And basically, it's insane the amount of rock stars and famous people that are using them now. Now, you can't get it at Guitar Center, but you can find them at some really high-end guitar shops, as well as I'm going to put a link. Oh, actually, I'll put a link over here for their website, so you can check out their products. This particular amp that I have right here is called a CJ11, and you heard me jamming out with it, right? I was jamming out with the gain turned pretty high up on the amp. Now this is a tube amp, which means it's an old style circuitry. All the blues amps that you heard from the classic rock era all have these glass vacuum tubes inside, which power the amp. And the thing is, the hotter they get, and the more you drive them, the more sweet the amp tone is, and the kind of the singing sustain. For instance, Stevie Ray Vaughan, there's kind of like this legend of Stevie Ray Vaughan where he turned he had all these tube amps, and he turned them on and left them on for weeks or something like crazy like that to get them so hot that the amp would just scream. So that's what I think of with this amp. Now, I'm not a crazy gearhead. In other words, I'm never like, I only can use this kind of pick, or I can only use this kind of, strings. But this really is the best amp I've ever had. And I'm actually constantly amazed by it. I've only had it for about a month now from this date that I'm recording this. Now, let's see, I've had Mesa Boogie amps before, and I still have a ton of Fender amps. That's usually my go-to amp. And some people have been telling me about these Divided by 13s, and I need to check them out. The thing I like about it is the way it's set up is very simple. It's got basically what's called a master volume, a treble, a bass, and another knob that's called volume. That's it. But basically, the regular volume knob works as a gain switch. It's also got a pull for extra gain. But basically, listen to the gain is pretty high up on this right now. Now, check this out. This amp is 10 watts, which sounds like nothing. For instance, my Fender Twin amp is like 95 watts, right? Guess what? This amp is just as loud as my Twin. I played my first gig with this amp a few weeks ago, and I thought I'd need to mic the amp up. 10 watts, right? Not at all. It screams. The thing that's cool about 10 watts is when you have an amp that's at a tube amp that's at a lower wattage, when you crank it, it doesn't take as much volume to get that sweet sustain and tube distortion. So the lower wattage is really good, especially in the studio. I originally got this amp because I could get really sweet distortion without it being too loud when I'm filming my lessons. Because to get the distortion out of my Twin, it has to be so loud that it would basically break the video camera. So at 10 watts, you get this amazing creamy gain without it having to be so cranked that you're blowing your whole band away or whatever. But it can. That's the cool thing. It can get so loud that you can get there, but you can get that sweet distortion without being that loud as well, as I'm doing right now. So let me show you a couple other things. I'm gonna push the gain switch down, and I'm also gonna turn it down to about 3 or 4. And then the master volume I'm going to turn up so you can hear what the clean sound. So now I just turn the gain down. Check this out. How So I've got a loop going right now. Nice little funky loop. Listen to the more jazzy tone of it. And you could even get, you know, country kind of stuff. Dude, it's killer for like more bluesy classic rock kind of stuff. And then I played like a pretty much a straight up funk kind of gig with it. And it blew me away, man. I couldn't believe, you know, how crispy the tone could get, and how much it cut through without being brittle. And then the other thing, it worked great with a nice overdrive pedal as well. But so here's kind of more of a funk thing. Just like that, super crispy, great cowboy chord, open chords. I'm going to go back to the super gain sound so you can hear, you know, that distortion again. So you can get it super hot without it being loud. Check it out, I'm going to turn it up now. Okay, so it's an awesome amp. You should check them out. Click the link. Check them out. Divided by 13, CJ11. I'm Marty Schwartz with GuitarJams.com. Got a ton of lessons on my site. Come check that out as well. We'll see you in the next lesson.